Hi, I'm Sarah and I'm bringing today's daily thought from the Free Church. Now, I wonder if anybody ever asked you, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you aspire to be in 5 years' time, for example? Well, according to my parents, I used to love playing librarians, post offices, doctors and nurses, and carpenters because I really enjoy playing with the carpet sample books from Paxson's. But I wonder how many of us actually became what we wanted to be. How many of us aspired to become something and we actually achieved it? Maybe we did, maybe we didn't. But according to a film that I have watched recently, it's really interesting to see it may not be about what should I become, what do I aspire to be, but more who do I want to be? Who do I aspire to be? And as this character goes throughout the film, she writes her essay and then at the end decides to delete it, having had so many life experiences to fall back on and to bring together her understanding of what it means to look to the future and have some dreams and aspirations. And she says, in 5 years' time, I want to be my brother's joy, my dad's love, my mum's warmth, Rachel's kindness, Noah's courage and his mum's wisdom, and most of all, my best friend's laughter. All those things together is who I want to be. And I think it's just incredible. You know what? Things change. We might have dreams, we might have aspirations, we might be where we thought we were going to be, we might be far, far away from where we thought we were going to be. But we know that God stays the same. He doesn't change, but He knows your worth and that you have got a purpose regardless of what our career aspirations might be. I'd like to read you a little story. You may have heard of it and you may not have done, but just take time to think about what it says and maybe reflect on what the message is coming through. Once upon a time, there were 3 trees standing on a hill in the woods. They were discussing their hopes and dreams when the first tree said, "Someday I hope to be a treasure chest. I could be filled with gold, silver, and precious gems. I could be decorated with intricate carving, and everyone would see my beauty." The second tree said, "Someday I'm going to be a mighty ship. I'll take kings and queens across the waters and sail to the corners of the world. Everyone will feel safe in me because of the strength of my hull." Finally, the third tree said, "I want to grow to be the tallest and straightest tree in the forest. People will see me on top of the hill and look up to my branches and think of the heavens and God and how close to them I am reaching. I will be the greatest tree of all time, and people will always remember me." Well, after a few years of praying that their dreams would come true, a group of woodsmen came upon the trees in the forest. When one came to the first tree, he said, "God, this looks like a strong tree. I think I should be able to sell the wood to a carpenter." And he began cutting it down. The tree was really happy because he knew that the carpenter would make him into a treasure chest. The woodsman came to the second tree and said, "God, this looks like a strong tree. I should be able to sell it to the shipyard." The second tree was also happy because he knew he was on his way to becoming a mighty ship. When the woodsman came upon the tree was frightened because he knew that if they cut him down, his dreams wouldn't come true. One of the woodsmen said, "I don't need anything special from my tree. I'll just take this one." And he cut it down. When the first tree arrived at the carpenter's, he was made into a feed box for animals. He was then placed in a barn and filled with hay. This was not at all what he had prayed for. The second tree was cut and made into a small fishing boat. His dreams of being a mighty ship and carrying kings had come to an end. The third tree was cut into large pieces and left alone in the dark. Few years went by and the trees forgot all about their dreams. Then one day a man and woman came to the barn. She gave birth and they placed the baby in the hay, in the feed box that was made from the first tree. The man wished that he could have made a crib for the baby, but this manger would have to do. The first tree could feel the importance of this event and knew that he had held the greatest treasure of all time. Years later, a group of men got in the fishing boat made from the second tree. One of them was tired and went to sleep. While they were out on the water, a great storm arose, and the tree didn't think it was strong enough to keep the men safe. The men woke the sleeping man, and he stood and said, "Peace," and the storm stopped. At this time, the second tree knew that it had carried the King of Kings in its boat. Finally, someone came and got the third tree. It was carried through the streets as the people mocked the man carrying it. When they came to a stop, the man was nailed to the tree and raised in the air to die at the top of a hill. When Sunday came, the tree came to realize that it was strong enough to stand at the top of the hill and be as close to God as was possible, because Jesus had been crucified on it. Each of the trees got exactly what they wanted, just not in the way that they had imagined. Now, I may have had dreams and aspirations growing up of what I wanted to be, but looking back, I now see that who I should be is so much more valuable. As the film shares, my brother's joy, my dad's love, my mum's warmth, Rachel's kindness, Noah's courage and his mum's wisdom, and my best friend's laughter. All those things together is who I want to be.